Welcome back, guys. All right, so in the last video, I showed you how to securely verify and install Sparrow Wallet on your desktop computer. There will be a link in the show notes below to that video. I strongly suggest you look at that before continuing with Sparrow. You always want to make sure you verify the Bitcoin software before you use it. But in this video, we're going to be setting up a basic hot wallet, also known as a software wallet. And then in future videos, we'll be looking at how to bring your ledger into Sparrow and how we can ditch the Ledger Live software, which is actually closed source, and we have no idea what's going on in the background. So I'm going to show you how to set that up. And then once we have Ledger in Sparrow, I'll show you how to transfer your funds from the Ledger over to your other cold storage device. I work with a couple, but the cold card is one of my favorites. And also the Keystone 3 Pro, which has just come out with the Bitcoin only firmware for the 3 Pro. So those are a few that we're going to be featuring in future videos. But today, we're just going to do the basics, the hot wallet. Let's get into it. So once you've got the Sparrow downloaded, you just drag it into your application folder, and we're going to walk through this together. So when you open Sparrow for the first time, you will be greeted with a window that looks like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top, go to File, and create New Wallet. And we're going to call this Hot. And this is the layout that we see. All wallets actually have this, but Sparrow has a great way of actually showing us what's going on in the background. So I'll just go through this stuff very quickly. At the top here, you got the policy type, you got a single signature, and you got a multi-signature. We'll just be dealing with a single signature today. And then the script types, there's a couple of different options, but essentially the native SegWit is the most efficient in terms of cost, and it also has the best anonymity for all Bitcoin. So it has the best anonymity set for all Bitcoin. And then obviously the descriptor, we haven't actually created a wallet yet, so that'll be empty. And then at the bottom here, you got just the various options of how to actually import or create the wallet. So you have if you wanted to connect a hardware wallet like a Trezor or a Ledger, you would use this option. You also have the air-gapped option, which is when you use a QR code or a SD card. And actually, if you click on that, you can see, like, let's just say you're going to import your cold card, which you're going to do just now. You can just click up top here, give you and Sparrow will actually give you the details of what you would need to do that. But I'll discuss that in a little bit. So for today's tutorial, what we're going to do is actually open a hot wallet. And a hot wallet essentially is a wallet that actually includes the keys within the wallet. Okay, so not the most secure, but great for certain things, but obviously not for maybe storing your Bitcoin long term. That's where you'd want to use the cold storage devices. And then a watch only is just there's only the public key is only available, so you can only watch the wallet. You can't actually sign transactions. But we're going to start with the hot wallet, and we're going to set it up. And everyone's familiar with these. You got either you can select the 12 or the 24 or 18 different words. We're going to go with the 24 words, and we're going to set up this wallet. So we're going to ask Sparrow to create our 24-word seed phrase. Now the BIP39 mnemonic words are from a list of, I believe there's 2000, maybe 2048 or something. So these are all English words. And what Sparrow is going to do is it's going to generate a random sequence of words. So we're just going to hit generate new. Now, before I do this, obviously when you're doing this, you do this in secrecy, and these words are kept under lock and key. You do not show these to anybody, and you also do not keep a digital copy of these words. This is just a tutorial. This wallet's going to be wiped anyway, but this is just to show you the process. Okay, so we're going to say generate new. And it's going to give us a bunch of different words, 24, and we're going to write these down on our friend pen and paper, and I'm going to come back to you once I've written all of these words down, because we're going to need them as we proceed. Okay, so it's a little tedious, but take your time and make sure that you've written them down and numbered them 1 through to 24. 24, okay. You'll notice too that the words are all lowercase, and now we're ready to hit confirm backup. And it'll ask you, have you written down the 24 words? Because you're going to need them. So we say yes. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to re-enter the words that they've given us. So I will do this and come back to you. You'll notice too, though, just on a note, that as you start typing in the word, it will autofill a bunch of different options, and then as you finish the word, it gets less and less, and then mine is actually lend. So 3 is cereal. So I'm going to do this and come back. We'll see in a bit. All right, so number 24, almost there. All right, so all 24 words are in, and now we're going to create key store. So it gives us the validation check. It's green, means we've got them all right. And now just create key store and import key store. And there it is. Okay, so now you can see at the bottom, those 4 options have been replaced by these fields. And these fields basically represent the seed that we have just imported. Okay, and it tells us everything that we need to know. It tells us it's a soft wallet, and you can view your seed by clicking this here. And you can go through your seed again if you need to confirm. The label is just internal to the wallet. Don't have to worry about that too much. The master fingerprint. What this is what we get when we take the private key, which is the seed, and we generate a public key off of that. And essentially that's how Bitcoin works. It works in pairs, key pairs. So the derivation path, I won't get too much into it, but essentially it is like a map of folders. And at the bottom you have your xpub and your zpub. And the xpub is essentially a representation of the public key at this derivation path. So once we have that all done, we can go down to the apply button and hit apply. And I'm going to create a password. I'm going to keep this really simple. Obviously you would do something maybe a little bit more complicated than 1, 2, 3 and set password. And that will load. Okay. So took a little time, but we're good. All right. So on the left hand side, you'll see you got your transactions, send, receive, the addresses, the UTXOs, and settings. So what we can do, I'll just go through them all. Basically, we don't have any transactions yet because it's a brand new wallet. Okay. It'll be, I mean, if you do have something in there, you'll be very surprised because it should be empty. Okay. When we look at our layout here, you'll see on the left-hand side, you have a menu. Transactions will be, obviously this field will be empty because we've just generated the wallet. Just very quickly, so you got your send button. We'll get into this when we do our transaction. You got your send, you got your receive. And what is nice about Sparrow is that if you look at the receive address, it ends in MKAKS. And when I look at the addresses, Sparrow actually shows us all our receive addresses. You see the top one is actually MKAKS. And it also shows us the change addresses. So the receive addresses is what we would give out to receive Bitcoin. And the change addresses is what the wallet uses when it needs to. It's a little complicated for this video, but we might get into that at a later stage. And then the UTXOs are the unspent transaction outputs. Best way to imagine these is essentially when you have a physical wallet with paper notes, a UTXO would represent each note. So if you have 100, a 50, and a 10, those would all be separate UTXOs. And then settings, you can just go back into the settings, and that's where we were at the beginning. But what we'll do now is we will set it up and we will receive some funds, which I'm going to send in. And then once they're in, we'll verify it. and then I will send those funds out again. Just a nice way to see the process. So Sparrow has this really nice interface with the receive addresses. You can see you have your receive address at the top. I always make a note of the last few digits and numbers and digits at the end there. You can copy that if you want to copy and paste it in, or you can use the QR code. Sparrow encourages you to label things, which is a great way to keep track of your transactions. I'm actually going to send some funds in from my Wasabi wallet, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it into my Wasabi, and I'm going to be right back. Okay, and I've just sent some money in, and you see it pops up in the top right there. So these funds are coming in. I can go to my transaction and watch the transactions. This is unconfirmed, so once it starts to confirm, we'll come back, and what we'll do is we'll send these funds out again. So while we're waiting for that transaction to come in, I'll just talk to you a little bit about what's going on here. At the moment, this little circle is empty. Nothing is confirmed at the moment, but there will be essentially 6 confirmations. So 6 little pies will enter this, and then it'll be fully confirmed. I think once we have 1 confirmation, we can start to work with the funds. But the fee will determine how long it takes to come in, and you can access the fee system here at mempool.space to give you an idea of what the rates are, and this will fluctuate depending on the day and how busy the network is. So I sent it high priority. It shouldn't take too long, but this is a good indicator to show you at what fees you should be applying depending on how fast you need the transaction confirmed. So we're starting to get confirmation. I have 1 confirmation right now. You can see there's a little pie that's colored in, and essentially there will be 6 total to fill the circle. You can usually, with 1 confirmation, you can send this out again, but I will wait for a few confirmations. Once you have 3, you're solid, and then obviously with 6, it's mathematically impossible to reverse the transaction. So I'm just going to wait for a few more confirmations, and then we will send it back out. Okay, so while this is still confirming, I can show you something else in Sparrow. At the top, you'll notice your wallet is essentially a tab. Okay, so if you have multiple wallets open, you'll have multiple tabs running along the top. What would happen if you were to close your tab? Okay, your wallet disappears. How do you get your wallet back? Very simple. Just go back to Sparrow, go to File, Open Wallet, and that'll show you where your wallet sits in the Finder. On your hard drive, you click the wallet that you're working with, or the one that you want to open, and you just hit open, enter your password, and it decrypts, and that will open up again, and you'll see the transactions. And there it is. Okay, so just a nice little tip to see where your wallet sits on your hard drive. So now we have 3 transactions confirmed. Now we can send this back out, and what we do is we head over to the send tab on the left, and then we're going to put in our Bitcoin address to where we're sending it. So I'm just going to paste in my other address, and always double check the last few digits and letters on the end there. Make sure everything coincides with the address you're sending it to, and also just add a label so you know where it's coming from. And the other thing before I do this is the U2XOs. If you click in there, you'll see your transaction U2XOs. So what I like to do is, this is such a small amount, I don't want to mix it up, so I'm just going to send the full UTXO out. So select that, and it's about $28 US, and you got your sats amount and your dollar amount. And then with the fees, if you head on over to the mempool.space, this will give you an idea of how congested the network is, and you can see the low priority to high priority and the actual fees, the current fees. So depending on how fast you want this transaction to go through, or how much you want to spend on it, you can set your fees accordingly. And the fee is broken down here. So you have your sats, and then you have your dollar amount. So I'm just going to leave everything as is. And then what's also nice within Sparrow is it actually shows you the transaction. It gives you a diagram of how it looks. You have your actual transaction and then the fee. And then when you're ready, you just hit create transaction. And this will be now finalize the signing. And because this is a hot wallet, we can do it right here. We don't need any additional information to sign. So I'm just going to hit finalize for signing and sign. And then I just need to enter my password, which was 123, and sign again. 123. And now all I need to do is hit the blue button that says broadcast transaction. So you can actually verify and view the final transaction if you click over here. But if you're ready and you want to send it out, you just have to hit the big blue button, and that's going to broadcast this to the network. So we're going to hit broadcast, and there it goes. Those funds are going back to the other wallet. It tells you at the top here that funds are leaving, and those funds will now be received in the Bitcoin address that I sent it to. And that's how you send out a transaction with a hot wallet. So now that we've set up our hot wallet and we're getting familiar with this, I just wanted to bring your attention to another thing in Sparrow, which is the servers. And to get there, you can go to Sparrow, Preferences, and then this will bring up this tab where you can actually set your currency, what you want to be denominated in. A couple of other options there too, but what I wanted to talk about is the servers. And you can go in here, and I'll just edit the connections. So in Sparrow, you have 3 options, okay? And each option gives you a different level of privacy. The public server being the least private, where your transactions are visible and your balance is visible on the network. Then Bitcoin Core is a grade up. You can run your own node. And this is better than the public server, but your transactions and your balance is stored unencrypted on the node. But the ultimate in privacy is the private Electrum. So that is the ultimate. But the public server is a great place to start. And I suggest if you're beginning this journey, start with the public server, and then as you progress, you can get more advanced with the nodes and setting up your own node. So in the next video, guys, we will be looking at how to bring your ledger in to Sparrow. And we want to do this because Ledger Live, which is the software that comes with Ledger, it's actually closed source and we have no idea what's going on in the background. So I strongly suggest, if you have a Ledger, I'll show you how to bring your Ledger into Sparrow, and we can ditch the Ledger Live software and ultimately import the funds from Ledger over to one of our other cold storage devices, like the Cold Card or the Keystone 3 Pro, which is also very good. They have the new firmware for Bitcoin only now for the 3 Pro. So we'll be looking at that in the next video. So appreciate it, guys. I hope you learned something, and if you did, just give us a like and a subscribe, and stay tuned.